And good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Steam here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel, the 40,000 subscriber powerhouse. We're ready for another sports day, including Monday Night Football, Major League Baseball playoffs, and happy Thanksgiving. We'll have Canadian Football League action for anybody who need a little football fix here early in the day. I slept in, almost missed my wake up call. I'm so tired right now after this past weekend. What a weekend. What a day yesterday, huh? Hope everyone had a great NFL Sunday. I'm just trying to wipe the sleep out of my eyes after the game last night. Should have went to bed early, but couldn't keep your eyes off the 49ers and the late blowout of the Cowboys. Are the Niners number one, you guys? What did you see this past weekend? Buffalo, they slept walk through that game, right? I mean, I guess it's tough when you've made the call and um, it just didn't look right from the outset, did it? I mean, my job is to come on here and try to give free, good, winning information, but I'm pretty good at this. And when you watch even out of the corner of my eye, we're on the air. You could see something is totally amiss from the get go yesterday with the Buffalo Bills. So let's roll in and say hello. Check the date and make sure we're on. Make sure we're here. Make sure we're on the right day. We don't want to preview the wrong games. And we'll preview Monday Night Football here in Las Vegas, Titletown, with the NHL season just one day away. This will be our last day of, we don't have enough sports action. We'll preview a few college football games here today on a Monday. I'll look at my favorite games from the early, just a handful of them. Looked last, we were on yesterday. If you caught my segment at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, I had the opening lines show where we discuss the college football first moves out of the gate from the major releases from Las Vegas' Circa Hotel and Casino, a sports book with large limits, as well as uh, offshore representation and a nationwide representation as well. All right, hello to who do we got? Blake, Solo, and CTG. Thank you for being kind and have time for me to come and to say hello. Got a couple of dozen in here right now. We're going to go over to Tony'sPicks.com and take a look and see how everybody did on Football Sunday and I guess Baseball Sunday, right? How did it feel with those two games? Do we like what? I'm not saying they haven't kind of done this type of format before, as far as staggering the days a little bit, but I just didn't like it. Now we got two games today when we could use, 4 games, right? I don't care if you want to play them in the daytime. We could use 4 baseball games. Why not? Instead, we've got 2. We got Canadian football. It's not even that good of a game. Hello to M. Looks. Hello, hello. We can see how it went for everybody in the National Football League yesterday. I thought it went okay. I thought it went well. The afternoon didn't treat me as well as the morning session. But let's see here. Here we go. We can take a look at the handicappers while we discuss yesterday's games. CTG might have some concerns with Dallas, but I don't. I had a premium on the 49ers. I'll just say that right away and talk about it from that perspective because it just feels like this team is just, it doesn't matter who was in there, right? You did have one of the best teams in the league. You're not going to downgrade Dallas tremendously off of this. I mean, even when things are going bad, right? The one we always see at when the ball is deflected and it's an interception, it's kind of a chain reaction after they had just scored and you got the one. we saw that happen to a couple teams yesterday, but I'm not so sure, Looks. Dallas, here's one thing that happens with Dallas they don't seem to manage the injury situation very well. Whether it's the depth is in the wrong places, they're supposed to have a deep roster, and we always hear, it seems like, especially for the last, I don't know, what do you think, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, about Dallas injuries mid-season. It's not an excuse. If it's something that happens, it happens, but you have to look at the same team over and over continues to get hurt. So it's unfortunate. Could be, even a couple of years is kind of a short, but if you have key players that are getting hurt, not saying it's something within the organization, Dallas spends pretty well. I guess sometimes people do complain a little bit, talking about former players or whatnot. I mean, yes, they do have a beautiful looking facilities, but do they have the right type of personnel keeping up on? Anyways, let's take a look over at Tony'sPicks.com. Yeah, right? Can't fire yourself. So let's take a look at it here with Pravi. A big day for Pravi. He's coming in with big time volume, 20 plays and 12 winners. So good job, Pravi. He was up 431 yesterday. Pravi Sambamurti. I'm talking about the handicappers at Tony'sPicks.com. Ben Ruhala, heavy in action yesterday, 10, 7, and 2. Plus 400 units. Hollywood Sam, 75% for plus 364. I talked a bunch of garbage about how I'm hitting 67% and everything that I'm doing in football, 67% this, 67% that. I'm so hot. Well, I went 67%. So there you go, plus 362. Like I said, I'm satisfied with a record like that on the day, but not happy with the losses as far as the handicap is concerned. It's one thing when you lose a game, right? Look, I know, I'm Mr. EV. As long as I've got positive CLV, I've won the day. I know. I don't know if it's so much that. I mean, you need to have that in order to win. So you better be shooting for that, right? But I think for me, doing so many games that we do and things. Sorry, you guys. Trying to wake up here. CLV, that, this and that. But when you have the handicap right and then something goes amiss, okay, no problem. But when you misfire a little bit and you're like, well, I really didn't see that quite right. So that's what frustrated me on those afternoon games where I totally like the Jets and the Broncos. It's an ugly game, a lot of variance. I don't feel confident as a premium. Anything could happen. I'm sure it'll be a crummy game with a kind of a high score. I don't like that. Of course, it's a high score. Don't worry about it. It's an NFL game. Go with a premium there. So, did have a premium winner with the Chiefs and the Vikings under, and that felt pretty good as well. Early winners: Jacksonville and the Bills under, Texans, Falcons under, Giants, Dolphins somehow stayed under, but I felt it was right, even though the Dolphins kept breaking loose like they were. Elijah Epperson, hello here. Nice to see you today as well. Oh, we'll pick you up. I'm sorry you had a rough day yesterday. Check out my record over at Tony'sPicks.com and use the promo code TonyT at checkout. I'll get you started here with free picks. I know we can do that, especially the way we're picking them right now. I've already looked at the preseason action for the NBA. There's 3 games today. You're willing to gamble a little bit, Elijah? I'll turn you on to some preseason action. We'll start from there, and you can come visit me every day, and we'll try to put you on some winners. I need friends, so this is the method that I've chosen. Come on here and talk to you guys. All right. Tiffany Mance, also enough about me. what about you? Tiffany Mance 5-2, a very strong day yesterday actually for Tiffany, plus 294. Ralph Raymond, same thing, 5-2. Tony T, lost in the shuffle here with a strong day, 4-2. Good job, Tony. Plus 186. You got Bella over from Platinum. She went 4-2 as well. She's had a couple of strong days, 2 of the last 3 days. Nick Lagaretos, 1-0-1. Joseph Schultz, 2-1. Eli Richards, another new capper here on the network, 2-1. And Nick Bartini, of course, the face of Platinum, and he went 4-3. So deep leaderboard. See everybody there that made it. Good job from our cappers. That's pretty good percentage of cappers showing winning. So, and also, I don't know, with all due respect to Elijah talking about, Tony's free video. I mean, let me just make it clear that Tony, another winning day here on the site with his premium selections, and that's what we're all about. But yeah, I'm all about, hey, if you're starting and you can't afford the premiums, I'm going to start you out here. I'm going to get you free winners, and then you can get those premium picks where if I could just take a look now, look over the 7-day leaderboard, see who's hot here. Hollywood Sam. These are our documented picks, by the way. So this is really what we feature on the site. I want to give you some reasoning into how all this works with the free plays. We want to show you our knowledge and everything. We're not giving you the absolute strongest to tell you. Well, sometimes we are. I'm going to give you some college football there that I feel very strong about, actually, and I just want to get them off on the air here before the lines move a little bit. So the premium plays here, though, what we're talking about, and we have our best plays here at the website. You see Hollywood Sam here, 23-10 last 7 days, plus 1,165 units. Mindy Hahn, 33-22. Good job, Mindy. Plus 663. Collins Brown, plus 474. Ben Good. Tony T, his premium picks over the last 7 days, 13-9. So definitely getting it done. And Tim Irwin as well. Last 30 days, well, I'm the leading handicapper over at Tony'sPicks.com. I'm bringing you practically a unit a day. If you're just betting $100 units per game, your mileage may vary. Some of you paying for picks, probably going to bet a little more. I'm always recommending that you do so. Got to cover the costs, and I'm going to get you home even with that extra fee, if you will, for buying the picks. We'll get you home. Look at this percentage, 115-75 with my premium picks over the last 30 days here at Tony'sPicks.com. Hollywood Sam, 72-44. That's even stronger than my record there by a little bit. Collins Brown, also very strong, over 15 units. Tony T, last 30 days. Actually, he's been on this list for nearly 60 days now, 2 months straight for Tony on the winning numbers here. So just want to point that out. All right, and be fair about it. Check out our premium picks today over at Tony'sPicks.com. Those are our best picks, and use that promo code Tony T at checkout. That'll save you 20%. Thanks to all the subscribers yesterday. Sorry about the afternoon pack, actually, but not sorry about the other winning packages. For most of the weekend, and one college package didn't come home. I don't think the UFC package came, but over the weekend, you see the numbers there. All right, 3 packs, 5 packs, 7 packs from the crew. Daniel Velasichuk, a 3-pack today. Ben Ruhala has got 2 in baseball and the NFL game tonight. If anybody wants to take me to the game, I'm available. Nick Bartini, same deal. 2 baseball, 1 football tonight. We got 2 baseball games. We got 1 football game. There it is. It's going to be a fun night. Who needs a big volume? Tomorrow we'll get into it with the NHL regular season. I'm ready. Tony T's got his $15 premium best bet for today. Check us out over at Tony'sPicks.com. Use the promo code Tony T at checkout. Joseph Schultz also best bet on the card. All right. That's enough for the commercial. Thank you guys for listening to that. And I just, I want to point it out. And also, like I said, want to thank everybody for the great subscriptions to the packages yesterday and all weekend and all week. Thought we brought it home. I was satisfied with that, but like I said, want to get them all. Perky's here today. He says he's trying to get it fired up. He says a tough slate today. And one thing about Pickett, and we've had our ups and downs with Pickett, but he's got a little bit of clutch gene, so it's going to be kind of hard to upend his overall momentum as the quarterback of the Steelers. It feels like to be right. I mean, because the Steelers always want to hitch their wagon on somebody kind of long term, right? And so I think while Pickett may not be the guy just yet, there's enough moments in there, right? It's not the first time we've seen him kind of be clutch. And it's happened enough so far early in his career that, it'd take like some injury and somebody to replace, and they don't have right now necessarily. I mean, he's their guy at this point. But, just wanted to note the way it went down. I had a premium winner there with the under, of course. Of course, we're going to go under in that game, but I did go with Baltimore on that runaway spread. But again, if anything, didn't feel right. Once it crossed that 3 a little bit, right? That's where the handicap should have been, because that series in general, and if you're ever going to equate something, right? Sometimes we say, "Oh, series history, blah blah blah." The Ravens, the Steelers. It doesn't matter the moving parts, right? It doesn't matter who the pieces are with that rivalry. In a way, they've come and gone for years, and the game's been played at the same type of tempo in the division and all that. So once it got past 3, it should have been automatic. And there were cappers. You might have been on the Steel. Like I said, I was on there saying when I had made the pick that I thought cappers across the industry were going to be all over Pittsburgh on this one now. And then I believe that to be the case, actually. I believe this was I believe the Steeler game was a winning play for paid handicappers. I had the loser on the show and should have known better. I still like the Ravens moving forward. I have no problem with really what happened. I think it was typical Ravens Steelers. I mean, right, the game played out. It felt like the Ravens, even though they were controlling, they weren't winning by much, and there was no scoring at all in the game. Basically, it was 10-8 there for the time. Didn't even look like they could get a cover. But then a bunch of goofy plays happened like they do in division games. It had nothing to do with execution, kind of, or maybe lack of execution, maybe lack of special teams there. But hello to Dre and hello to Thomas as well. All right. Well, anything else from the weekend? I'm going to get started. But Eagles, Rams, here's one, right? So I feel like I did fail on my handicap because I had the Rams in a premium. Just one of the, like I said, we had 8-4 day, but I was up here talking about the Rams yesterday and saying how watch out for the Rams. Ooh, still, I'm on the Rams moving forward. I mean, I don't think they were. Yeah, the Eagles were a superior team. The Eagles are that good, and the Rams, once they just didn't have quite enough, of course, against them. I kind of was thinking the Eagles maybe wouldn't take as much advantage. But, one thing about playing those teams in LA, you got that crowd behind you. You get your own crowd behind you. And yesterday, even though the Rams, Eagles, not like some of the other national team, but enough that it was like 50-50. And not that made the difference, but Rams no home field. So, all right. Yeah, good point there as well. All right, you guys, let's get into the games, and we'll just start it off with I want to start with the Major League Baseball playoffs, if that's okay, even though it's Monday Night Football, because I think it's the postseason, and these are great games. And, well, one of them's not exactly a day game, but it is an early evening game on the East Coast, a 6:07 start with the Phillies and the Braves in this one. And right now I'm showing the Braves. I'm going to refresh it here, but feels like Feels like the price is a little high, is what it feels like, with Braves $1.50 here and the total 8 over 15. It could be a pick at some places. I think if it's anything, it's 8, maybe shaded just to the over right now as far as favoritism on the total is concerned. Let me think back all the way to Saturday, since they didn't play yesterday. Oh, yeah, it was the Phillies that won game one. We know that. But a day of rest for the Phillies or the Braves, who needed it more? The Phillies, Zach Wheeler's 3-0 with a 3.04 ERA in his last 4 starts. The Phillies are 20-13 with Zach Wheeler going. Pretty good profit, but he's also favored in quite a bit. Not, I wouldn't say not just barely a profitable pitcher actually, but 9-7 on the road, where he was actually a little bit of a losing proposition. Still, Phillies have won 11 of their last 14 games coming into this one now, and we're pretty good. 500 team on the road basically so far this season. A couple games over 500. The Braves, they're 7-4 in their last 11, coming in here with Max Fried, and that's where the issue lies for me, is Max Fried. He's had some blister discomfort coming in. It's the worst thing you could have other than a real injury. I want to say it's not. It is an injury to a certain extent. It could be a big issue. Now, here's the thing: Fried has been on. He's been fine. Just has a problem with a blister. It's not a good thing to have right now. So just some issues recently there. But Fried 4-0 with a 2.1 ERA in his last 5 starts. The Braves have won 11 of his last 14 starts, but mostly those have been all on the road. All of them really on the road. I think he won like 9 straight decisions on the road. Didn't win them, but won some of them. But the Braves won 9 straight, I believe, of his decisions on the road. Anyways, he's actually lost 3 of his last 5 decisions at home. So that's where those 3 losses came from. Braves have gone over in 4 of 5 Fried starts, and they've also gone over in 12 of their last 17 games. So that's just a little bit where my concern is going to be a little bit in Max Fried and maybe a little bit of this head-to-head matchup. I'll tell you in just a moment, but let's get some comments here from the chat. Blake saying, big winner yesterday at the business. Hope, hey, there better be a party. There better be a lunch at least today. Better be ordering lunch in at work. Is what it feels like, boss. All right. What did Ray say? Hello to Ray. Hello to Darren as well. Ray's here with a pick. He says go over in this one. Okay. Well, both these pitchers, like I said, have been strong, but Braves definitely trending to the over of late. That's undoubted. That's no doubt. Hello to Doubles as well today. So the Phillies, the Braves have been trending more under. They are under in 3 of 4 Wheeler starts. Have the Phillies, and under 3, 6, and 1 to the under in their last 10 games. So a little bit of Braves have been going over, but the Phillies have been going under, and that's been the case. I mean, Braves at home this season, 48-32 to the over. Do want to note the Braves 86-57 to the over as a favorite. So that's pretty strong. I would say that's almost. I mean, we know how many times they were favored. I mean, that's basically 143 games. Hey, I want to say hello to, this is going to be tough. Well, I'll say hello to Goodnight Munchie. That's a lot easier. He's got a 3-team parlay today, and I'm going to talk about the basketball games and Munchie and I are not on the same page. So take a look, though, at Munchie there with the picks. I don't care if I agree or disagree, Munchie. I thank you very much for coming in. And there we go. Oh, that feels better. Coming in. But one thing I have is a chair that constantly will go lower as the day goes along, as the show goes along. Nitin Sinigaretti, and very nice to have you here. Nerfy here for the Braves game, says Nitin Sinigaretti. Hope I got that one right. And maybe it means something else, and I can just call you something else. But I'll call you whatever you want. Obviously, that's your handle, so I'm going to call you that. Anyways, let me take a look here if we can. I didn't look too much at the Nerfy, but I can look at the top of the lineup here, I think, here and see. Hello to Gary as well. Hello to Ferner today. Well, let's see here. Against Max Fried, you've got Schwarber. Not good numbers for Schwarber. 3 hits and 27 plate appearances, 10 strikeouts. Turner's had good success against Fried with 14 hits, 39 plate appearances. JT Realmuto has 3 home runs in 43 plate appearances against Fried. Harper, real decent numbers here, 7 hits, 24 plate appearances, a couple of home runs. And Bohm is 5 hits in 24 plate appearances. Nick Castellanos has been very strong against Zach Wheeler. Against Max Fried. 8 hits in 13 plate appearances. For some of the Braves, they have some okay numbers here against Wheeler. Acuna, 4 home runs in 48 plate appearances. Ozzie Albies just 7 hits and 46 plate appearances. And Austin Riley, 11 hits and 42 plate appearances. Marcell Ozuna, 9 hits and 49 plate appearances with 17 strikeouts. So maybe that'll help out a little bit. And Darren said, that's good enough for me. He'll bet the Nerfy. Hello to Who Banging here today, DJ, Big Boss. Nice to see you. It's going to be a good week in college football this week. I think I'm already on some good plays, and I get scared on the, I don't want these lines. I was going to come on and recommend a play here. I think I'm going to look at 4 or 5 games from the early slate on Saturday. And just when I was about to hit the air, some steam definitely moved one of my lines. And it was like a pretty ugly underdog that I kind of wanted to give out on the air. And I thought I don't know if I'm sneaky, but I am obviously. I must be on a kind of a sharp side because I think it's a team that is not going to get a lot of public support this week as a big home dog. But we'll talk a few college games. All right. Did I give out the? I'm going. I have to be on the Phillies here in this one. If Fried has a little bit of issue here in this one, so I'll just take it. Though the price. I mean, look, we're getting at least $1.25 here with Philadelphia, and that's probably going to be good enough for me. And if I'm going to think there might be some runs scored in this game, maybe there'll be some variance here that maybe I can. Take the underdog here and see if the Phillies can grab a 2-0 lead. They're starting to feel a little bit too public doggish a little bit. It seems like a lot of people are kind of moving toward the Phillies a little bit, maybe after that first game. But it's not like you have a discount here with the Braves or anything, right? This is a Major League Baseball playoff game. There does not feel like to me a team should be most any team at this point, $1.50 in a regular season baseball game, right? Does not feel like a very fair price. Whether or not that's just what the bookmakers want to do, whether they're balancing their action or not, does not feel like a favorite I want to be on. Just to make that clear, it's a baseball game. Braves could win, obviously, here with their great lineup, their great team, and You only get one shot to bet it, but I don't want to take the Braves here. I'll take the Phillies as my play in this one. Thanks, Ray, for that pick. All right, we got another one where it doesn't even if it's the Dodgers, it just doesn't feel right, does it? I certainly don't have the better pitcher here with Bobby Miller over Zach Gallen. Now, Bobby Miller has been kind of maybe one of the underrated pitchers of the dot. Right, he doesn't have the big name. He's just been good. He's just been good numbers this year. And Zach Gallen, we know, he is the ace of the Diamondbacks. And Miller, we didn't even know who was going to pitch this game, and it is Miller even going to, maybe he'll get an opener. I don't know, but here's Bobby Miller. He deserves it. I mean, he's been fine. There's no reason why he can't be a frontline starter in the playoffs given his season. Now, we didn't know that Bobby Miller was going to be as good as he was, right? And that's just part of the Dodger development. That's why all these pitchers come up and are fine pitchers. Miller has a 2.12 ERA in his last 3 starts. And, like I said, the Dodgers, they were in a situation where they didn't need it. They didn't need those wins really as late. They were locked in for quite a while, pretty much. He has a 1-0 record with a 3 ERA in 2 starts against Arizona. The Dodgers are 15-7 with Bobby Miller as a starter this season. The Diamondbacks are 20-15 with Zach Gallen. Is that right? Yeah, okay. That had to be. I don't know if there was did Gallen make the most starts of any major league? I saw 35, and I was like, man, I don't think anybody even had 34. Yeah, I guess there were some 34, but 35 starts. So Gallen, durability here, no doubt. Gallen just 8-11. The Diamondbacks on the road with Gallen, despite that record. He's got a 1-4 record with a 3.48 ERA in 11 starts against the Dodgers in his career. The Diamondbacks, we know they're looking great with this 3-0 record. Gallen allowed 2 runs in 6-inning pitch in his playoff start. That was his first. Arizona, 22 runs in the 3 games so far, so they are clicking offensively for the Dodgers. Of course, they had time off, so they got to rest a little bit. Good thing they had 5 relievers pitch on Saturday, 8 2/3 innings, basically the whole game, because of what we said about Kershaw. And let's hope that, let's not look ahead here. The Dodgers have to win this game, but it doesn't feel right that, Kershaw doesn't feel like you want him in there, right? We talked about them before the game that there could be a problem. Now the Dodgers situation is a little bit sketchy here. Talking Murphy here, possibly. For Cingaretti. Cingaretti. I like saying that. Steam rolled in here a little bit on the under, and that's driven this total lower. I better update it, actually, because it's pretty much 8. It's an 8 everywhere right now, which I don't know. That sounds pretty okay, but I don't know which way you guys are going. So, and that price is pretty right as far as I'm showing a little bit higher at a couple spots actually on the Dodgers at this point. So I'm going to take Arizona. I know I've talked about every show how I love to bet the Dodgers, but I just can't do it at this price in a playoff game. I've got Gallen. I understand the road woes of Gallen. They were 8. I think I said it, 8-11 with Gallen on the road. But I gotta like the way the offense has performed. Yeah, the offense can be up and down. And Bobby Miller, what will happen here in his first ever playoff start? kind of trust Dodger pitchers a little bit, but, well, a lot. But I feel like I've got the more established pitcher with Gallen anyway. So I don't mind what you're saying. Look, these are the Dodgers. They're down 1-0. And, well, like I said, I was looking for an underdog to get on. So we're kind of on Arizona to win it all a little bit. Maybe we didn't even get the best price, but I just wanted to roll with the longest shot on the board in Major League, in the playoffs, because why not? This is baseball, and getting $1.30 here or whatever. I'm going to be on Arizona here in this one. You look at some of the matchups. I tell you, there's really some interesting numbers here for some of the Dodgers against Gallen. Will Smith hit him well, but Max Muncy just 4 for 24 hits and 27 plate appearances. Freddie Freeman 3 hits and 15 plate appearances. So Mookie 5 hits and 21 plate appearances. And some of the Diamondbacks haven't had too much success here against Bobby Miller. Of course, his sample size is going to be a little bit smaller, but Corbin Carroll, Kettle Marte, no hits yet against Miller, and a handful of at-bats. And nobody's really touched him up too much. Alek Thomas has a couple of hits. But I'm taking Arizona here in this one. I can't pass up on a price like this. Playoff game. Hello to Mark Roper. Pleasure to have you here. Just feels like it's a playoff game. I mean, it's not like you're Dodgers are great. I get that. Give me Arizona today. All right, you guys. Thanks for your contributions on that. Let's get to Monday Night Football right now and talk about that. All right, the matchup here between the Packers and the Raiders. One thing that I like to do, because I'm kind of a news hound kind of guy, I don't really, I'm a sport, I'm a handicapper here on you now and all that, but I'm going to cover local sports, things like that. Well, one of the services that I kind of shoot for, everybody shot, out there for the Stringer app, right? You go out there and you go shoot a fire or something, and sometimes you get like $50, $100. As a plane crash down the street. I went and filmed that one time, and they sent $100 the next day. That was not bad. I want to see it anyway. I'm like one of those guys. I'm one of those guys. The car crash, got the phone out. Whatever. Well, here they said go out and shoot some Raider fans, or some Packer fans. Go out. I won't put his number out there, but go out there and shoot some. I think it's a company number, anyways. Oh, it wasn't that. It was just the address. They want you to go shoot some Packer fans coming into town. You know what that means? There'll be a lot of Packer fans at the game tonight here in Las Vegas. So it'd probably be 50-50 for sure. I don't know if that's going to necessarily affect the Raiders' home field advantage or not. But the Packers are going to have a lot of fans here tonight for this game. And they are one of the best, traveling teams. We know that. But that's one of the things the Raiders are going to be faced against every time with some of these road teams, especially the Packers, teams like the Packers, is teams coming in and having a lot of fans, right? Because this is a pretty good destination. Come and spend the weekend or a Monday night. Thomas is already coming in with his play. Says, give me the Packers and the over. And Darren's ready as well. He says, give me the Packers. Darren, I got news. Oh, Darren said, I was going to say, I got news for you, because the Packers were actually a slight favorite there for a little bit, but Raiders here now are favored. But I think what Darren is saying is I want to lay an alternative line here and lay a little bit and get a little plus money tonight with the Pack, because the Raiders are definitely favored in the game currently by 2. They opened, what was it, 1.5? Let me check that out. Yeah, there was definitely some 1.5. Open 1.5 at Circa. Open up 1.5 at a couple places here in Las Vegas. Rays leading the Packers. So, and to be clear, I mean, I've been kind of pro Packer. I'm pro Jordan Love. I think he'll be fine. But will he be fine here in this one, or will we see a well played game or a poor played game? Are these good teams or bad? Are the Packers good? Are they healthier now? They're 2-2. The Raiders are 1-3, and we know that the situation surrounding Jimmy G. Remember, he had a concussion, so you have to take that under consideration. But he's probable now, no doubt about it. He'll have Davante Adams in the lineup certainly tonight. Now, Aaron Jones is questionable for the Packers. And I don't know, a lot of people talk about, and yeah, he is cleared to play. Now, Thomas talking about some of the and we saw you guys say in there, Packers are healthy. But, Bakhtiari, who was out already, we know that, and he's been on and off the injured list so much that we don't even really factor that in, I guess. So, yeah, Darren says the price on that Packers -3 is plus $1.82. So yeah, expect Garoppolo in there tonight. I don't know if Thomas was talking about Jimmy G or if he was talking about Aaron Jones, but Las Vegas is 10-16 against the spread in their last. Well, I say the Raiders, I guess I should say, in their last 26 games, coming off a loss, and they're also 8-5 against the spread in their last. Oh no, let me see. I don't think I got that stat right. I'm not going to recite that one. I think my notes might have, maybe I did that one a little bit too quick there. We know it's all about Jimmy. Here it is. So far, AFC West teams are not playing well outside of the division. They are not covering spreads at all when playing outside of the division so far this season. AFC West teams are just 3-9 against the spread currently. So Green Bay, they start off very well. They've outscored their opponents 31-0. With their on the first drive, basically. You get the ball, we get the ball, first drive. What's going on? 31-0 Packers. They've not given up a score on the first drive, and they've scored 31 points on the first drive in those 4 games so far. That is reflective of coaching. It's reflective of organization. Yeah, you're not going to do it every time, but if you can get off to that good start, right, it always puts you in a good spot. So, and I think you can grow from there, especially if you're Love, because we do see him, certainly have moments and then have struggles later in the game, and then maybe he can be a little bit clutch at the end from what we're seeing. What we'll see, this one feels kind of tough because I just don't think we have great teams here at this point. Like I said, I've had the Packers higher than most, and I also want to try to make the Raiders a little bit better. Here's one thing I'm seeing for the Raiders that it might be a little bit disturbing to me, right? So with McDaniels and everything, they're kind of like trying to, let's do it the Patriot way, right? And it's not starting. You're never gonna look like the Patriots every year throughout all their great years. I mean, it's a joke now, but I mean that's what it kind of feels like. Hey, let's do it the Patriot way. The Patriot way is a done way. I mean, right? Well, I don't want to say that because, I mean, I think the Patriots will still continue to kind of hang on to this, and be competitive in some games, even if I know I was calling for Zappe and, he didn't look, but the game was over. So I don't want to bring the Patriots into it here necessarily, but I'm just trying to equate what the Raiders are doing right now. And I don't think they are really, I don't know if they have a choice because of the way the coaching staff is set up, or the way they built the team. But I don't know if they're going about it going about that right. I think it's the only way that this, coaching staff is going to know how to do it. So, but when you're only scoring, um, no more than 17 points a game, pretty much, it feels like right now, that's not going to get it done, obviously. So, Raiders are good in close game, decent in close games, 12-9 against the spread. Last 21 with a spread of 3 points or less. Packers 13-5 against the number, coming off of a loss. So I'm going to go over in this one as my play here on the show. Kind of want to go premium with it a little bit, but obviously I'm dealing with a Monday night game here, and that's kind of what has me a little bit worried here. But I don't know. I feel like the Packers will be able to put some offense together. There are some things that indicate in games like this that they will be able to produce a little bit above average, especially coming off of a loss. They usually have bounced back pretty strong. And PZ, thank you for your contributions here. That's one. That's more of a historical trend necessarily, right? And not necessarily a dominance of the Packers over the Raiders, but a coincidence over the years, certainly. But okay, because it's one of those where the Dodgers are never on, right? The Raiders are never. I get it. Great to always have you, Peasy. And yeah, the defenses, they maybe are a little bit suspect here. I look, primetime game. I have made no bones about what I do right on some of these, and I'm all about primetime unders right now. I'm all about this. Believe me. I mean, go look at my record on this website. Go look down at the game. Look at what I did this week. I mean, I was under on like 7 games yesterday. Whatever my 6-4 in the end. I know I won both the baseball premiums yesterday. Raiders money line here for Perky. So Raiders need it, obviously. Packers don't want to go to 2-3, but Monday night so far, everyone, we know that I'm counting both of the ones that had 2 games, but unders so far on Monday night are 5-1. 5 unders, 1 over on the 5 Monday night. Did I say Monday? Did I slip and say Sunday? But I meant Monday. Monday night games so far, 5-1 to the under. The average score has been just 36.8 points so far this season. So not only do you got to make up, it's basically a whole touchdown with this score, more than that at 36.8. So 45 actually feels high, but I don't think the teams are good enough. When I see teams that aren't good, right, I'm always going to try to go over a little bit. Even though my first instinct's always going to be under, and so my first instinct, or the way I approached this game, was try to get off the under because it's a Monday night game, and I have been able to do so here. But it's only going to be a free play. I know handicappers across the industry are kind of if they're using the total, they're using the under here. I'm pretty sure. I'm sure at least 4 out of every 5, if not more, are going to use the under here. As their play, if they're going premium, I think they're going under. And I tell you the truth, whatever game it is, if I was on the under, it would be a premium for me. The fact that I'm on the over is why it's not a premium. If that makes any sense, right? Especially with, some of the things I was saying yesterday with road favorites, the big 72%er right now, and or road favorites of less than 9 points, 72%. Road favorites, all road favorites, 69% last 2+ seasons now. So, but anyways, I think goes over here with the and by the end, we say, well, maybe Love's is the whether they win or lose. We'll say Love had a decent game. Maybe he will be the guy and we'll say, oh, look, Jimmy G's back. Oh, he won a game. He wins every game. And right now, the it's worn off for Jimmy, even with me a little bit for Jimmy G. And maybe because I'm feeling it a little bit closer here in Las Vegas. But Jimmy's got a lot to prove. And it may just not be a great situation with the Raiders. And like I said, to me, the Raiders are the lipstick on the pig now. Don't feel good about anything they ever do organizationally necessarily, but with a beautiful, with one of the most beautiful facilities in the country for sure. You can mask a little bit here, I think. And look, if I ever run into Mark Davis across town, I'll let him know what I think. But I'm not looking to make enemies. So let me take the over in this one. Packers and Raiders tonight, Monday Night Football. PZ, what's the over-unders on all these Raider games? Last two visits, they were in Oakland, so this is the first time the Packers have ever been to Vegas. And Thomas Lewis says, bet 365 has the Packers at +2. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the going rate pretty much everywhere. There's a 2-point spread. All right, thank you, everyone. Enjoy Monday Night Football. Hey, how about a little Monday afternoon football on Thanksgiving? Here on this one, or I think it's been extended, right? Is that why we're on? I don't want to be wrong on this, but I believe today is the official celebration. So we've got a day game in Canada between the Red Blacks here going up against the Alouettes from Montreal. And so I thought I could preview this one, maybe even a little bit more than usual. We're not faced with a ton of games, and we don't talk about these teams too much. It seems like we always talk about the big. Well, in Montreal, you gotta include Montreal as one of the better teams in the league. And in fact, this line may be. Let me see. Is it 6 or 6.5? Oh, it's 6. It may be juiced up a little bit here. The total 46 here in this one with the Alouettes coming in, and their 8-7 record so far. So looking okay, looking like they're gonna get in here. But Ottawa just 4-11 right now coming into this one. And for me, I think handicappers are going to want to take a look at the Red Blacks. That's the way it feels like anyway. I've seen some handicaps. I've seen, couple on the Alouettes as well. It feels like a pretty split. It feels like a few more maybe leaning Red Blacks to me, but I think we'll see some scoring here. And that's going to be the way I'm going to at least go on the show. I don't know if I'm going to give out the side here, there, or anywhere. They don't let me sell the CFL on the side anymore. And I've been doing pretty well. Pretty much was a wash this week on all these picks we've had on the show. Seems like I give out the side in total every game, and we're winning one and we're losing one. So we'll just stick to the total here and go with the over 46. Here, as I was going 1-1 in all those games, I was giving outside in total since I'm not selling on the site. But you got to like Cody Fajardo's matchups here. I would think against the Red Blacks with all of his receivers. I would think I've got Mac should have a big game. I'm going to start talking myself into giving out a side here. Mac should have a pretty big game, I would think, for Montreal. I think you could look for Sneed. Philpott also probably to get in the end zone here. Meanwhile, Crum for Ottawa, he's been good, but he just doesn't have the weapons like Fajardo has here. Their running game is pretty good. And I think against Montreal, that's kind of what you look to do. Like Montreal, look, the one thing Ottawa does is stop the run, but they give it up and through the air. And I think Montreal has a decent enough aerial attack. So I kind of want to lay these points, but are you guys? I mean, look, you guys are commenting. Is it about this game? Oh, it's just Perky. He wants the Alouettes on the money line for a max play. Yeah, well, I think they'll win. I don't want to give. I don't want to give out a 275 minus 275 money line here, but like I said, Ottawa, a decent enough running game, and that's what can keep them actually in this game and kind of keep Montreal off the field maybe a little bit. But who can they really throw to that's going to have, when you compare to guys like Mac, Sneed on Montreal, Ottawa just doesn't have anybody who matches up like that. I mean, they've got Hardy, they've got Addison, but Montreal's probably the side here. I want to give it out. Just 6 points. I wish I'll buy it down. I'll buy it under 6 and probably do it. So, yeah, thanks, Perky. That's exactly what I'm going to do. That's where I'm going to be taking a nap right there before the baseball game comes on. That's what I'm going to be doing. Maybe I'll be up to watch this one. I'll catch the end of it, maybe. I need some sports today, and it is at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 Pacific, Red Blacks and Alouettes here in this one. And, it is on Thanksgiving up there. And I checked. I just had to type in Canadian Thanksgiving. And, of course, I know that. I know that's why. But, look, it's pretty crucial for Montreal. I said it's looking good because they're favored to win this game. But remember, the Ticats are just a half a game back right now because they were able to win, 38-13 over Saskatchewan. They ended up crushing them in that game. That was when we had the over on, right? Let me see where that was 2 days ago. I don't even remember 2 days ago. So Montreal's won 2 straight. And, for me, Ottawa, 4-11 right now. They've just a 1-6 road record. So Perky's giving out the money line. Maybe we'll just leave it at that. I don't know. Oh, man, I want to get – all right. Montreal and the over. I've got to give out both sides. In total, it's Thanksgiving. And I can't sell my premium pick on here, the over. Over's my premium, okay? Can I say it like that? Over is my premium, and Montreal is my play on the show. If I could do premiums on here. That hogging the clock to keep the other team's offense rarely works in today's pro football, especially when your own offense is limited. Yeah, you said it, Terrell. Nobody can go down the field and just get 10 yards, 10 yards, boom, 10 yards, boom, 10 yards, boom. But, like I said, if you look at the teams in the National Football League that run the ball effectively, those are the best teams in the league right now, almost by far. It almost is reflective in exact order of the best running team as far as, I believe, yards per attempt. I don't think it's total yards. I'll check it. I'll come back with you. Great to have you as well, as always, Terrell. Yeah, Perky, let's just buy it down to 5.5 here. Or maybe even 4 and lay it at 180 or something like that. Montreal should win this one. All right. Thanks, you guys. That's CFL. And, hey, you're welcome to stick around. I'm going to make a few videos for the website here on college football. And start to take a look. It's Monday. But don't forget, with hockey coming up on tomorrow, we're going to squeeze in college football. And what I've done here now, last week was my kind of like the first full extended week where I was trying to figure out what to do, and they had some great advice at the headquarters, and they sent it down. So I'm going to look at the games that I feel most comfortable with right now, not just go down through the whole early, because just games that I want to release instead of forcing myself to make a pick that I don't like. I'm going to give you games that I really like. And we'll start with this one. And they'll all be early. It's just a handful of them. We'll do the same thing every day. Do 6 or so and just see how many we get through. Syracuse and Florida State. Florida State's 17.5-point favorite, and the total is 56. And don't forget to go back if you want, take a look at the show that I made yesterday as the lines came out. It was kind of like a real-time show where I was reading off the opening line move and how the line was moving on each of these games, including this one with Syracuse and Florida State. But I do have a strong play here with these two. This one opened at 52.5 at Circa and moved all the way up to 56.5. It's been since bought back down to 56. Okay, I get it. Florida State, they're pretty great. The line opened 19.5. It's down to 17.5. There is some action coming in, no doubt, on Syracuse. One book even opened it as high as -20. And now we're seeing it at -17.5. Syracuse has a pretty good defense. I think we can all agree with that. They've gone 1-5 so far to the under. They're 4-2. Okay, Florida State's great, but Syracuse got a pretty good team. Last year was a blowout. I know, 38-3. Florida State rocked them. It was at Syracuse. So that's pause for concern, especially against a Seminole team that is 3-2 against the spread to go with their 5-0 record so far, and Florida State averaging 42 points a game. I don't think they're going to get 42 points in this game. I don't think they are. I'm glad the spread's moved up. That's got me on a premium. This is a premium for me. It's just it's Monday. I want to get ahead of these lines. Maybe it'll continue to move higher, but I just want to play it here now. And further, it sounds like you guys are all over Florida State. I've just got the under. I'm going to respect this move. Let me tell you guys this. For at least for the Sharps are taking care of this for you. The books opened it up, said, hey, we want you to lay almost 20 points. And the Sharps said, no, not us. We're going to make some big money bets at some books and make sure this spread is not that high. And let all the people that love that Florida State team this year come in and put all their bets in on Florida State. The books are making this a much cheaper line for this. The hook's still there, so don't. I'm not necessarily giving out Syracuse here just yet. In fact, I don't know now. It's kind of scary, right? 2 years ago, Syracuse went down to Florida. Now that was a difference. I'm not even going to say it, but it was 33-32 seasons ago in Tallahassee. But I've got a strong play on the under here. It's a premium for me. Syracuse allowing 19 points a game so far this season. Yeah, they're going to be going up against the fourth-ranked team in the country, so this will be tough. But I think Syracuse is up for the challenge at least to play a great game, play a good game, play their best game. They're 4-2. They've had some nice results here. Certainly, if you look back, last two games haven't been great. The game against North Carolina, certainly an embarrassment. But coming off two poor efforts in a row, I'm gonna think that Syracuse is gonna have a little bit of defense here. They've gone under. I mentioned the first game was over, but it was 65-0 Florida State over Colgate. Since then, it's been 5 straight unders. So I'm going under here, Syracuse and Florida State, and feel very strongly about it. And that's why I'm giving it out on a Monday at 56. Just that half a point buyback concerned me, and the opener as low as it was. To me, I would think the perception is Syracuse, if they're going to stay in the game, right, has enough defense to stay in, and it's not about necessarily keeping up offensively. Is that right? What did you guys think? Thanks a lot. I mean, we're talking big games, right? We did say we're talking big games. This is one of them. This is a big game, believe it or not, with Georgia Southern and James Madison here. Georgia Southern comes in with a 4-1 record, and James Madison comes in at 5-0. Last year, Georgia Southern won this game. Let me see what it was. I want to say it was a high-scoring game. So far, Georgia Southern 3-1-1 against the spread. They've gone 1-4 to the under thus far in their games. And right now, Madison averaging 33 points per game, allowing 22. Georgia Southern averaging 35 points per game and allowing 20 points per. Last week it was for Georgia Southern. They did a great job in that game against Coastal Carolina, 38-28. They won. They got the number. They also won and covered against Ball State the week prior. Been a good run here so far. Only the game against Wisconsin when they were getting 20.5 points and they lost by 21 points has been their only game that they didn't cover the spread. They've gone, like I said, under in 4 of 5. For Madison, they're coming off that game against South Alabama. They've won and covered 3 straight. Of course, they've won all their games, but they've covered 3 straight now. They failed to cover against Virginia. They were favored in that one by 6, but they only won by 1 point. So I'm on Madison here to get this one. I'm taking James Madison. I think you see the total there at 58. It opened 60.5, went all the way down to as low as 57.5, and is now back up to 58. There's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. It's going to be pretty close. I'm not sure I can give out the total here necessarily just yet. Feels like it could be a premium, but just want to see a little bit more information. But I like Madison in this game to win it by probably a touchdown. And it's a near premium, not quite, but just a big game that I wanted to cover on that. Not sure I'm going to get there on a premium, but certainly a big one for these two teams. Look at it. I mean, you have to think that offensively, Georgia Southern, they're kind of a deal. They're throwing the ball pretty well, no doubt about it. They're averaging 337 yards passing per game so far this season, but they're more dink and dunk. Madison takes some shots. Madison takes some shots down the field. So I think this one could have some high scoring. Madison runs the ball better for sure. That's one thing. Defensively, you have Georgia Southern better pass defense for sure than Madison, but Madison probably is better against the run. So there's some contrasting things here that kind of I think it just favors Madison. I know there's a hook on there, and I'm going to get off that hook and take them somehow to win, and maybe I'll get down to 2.5 and just lay some juice. We'll see what's on the line. It's been 4, it's been 3, it's 3.5 now, but it sounds like Ray likes Georgia Southern in this one. And I'll take Madison. With me and Darren, we're on Madison here. So I wanted to get that score from last year, right? That was 45 to 38, first ever meeting last year. It was a wild one with a ridiculous. There was 1,000 yards passing in the game last year. 1,000 yards passing. James Madison also rushed for 200 yards, but Georgia Southern rushed for 12 yards. There were 130 yards in penalties. Madison turned the ball over 4 times, lost the game 45-38. Boy, that's a lot of yards. I don't even know if what I don't even know if what I'm looking at is right anymore. I better go check that. Nonetheless, it was a crazy game. I do remember that. So this one sounds like it'll be crazy. Maybe we should be on the over. I think I like over, but I don't know. That buyback kind of worries me. Let's see how it goes later in the week. I want to see what the Sharps do. I always say I know what the Sharps are on. I don't know necessarily. I think they're on the over, but I'm not sure. So, all right. Thanks a lot. That's a good one. That is a good one. That should be some point. It does feel a little light now. I almost want to kick it in on the over. We'll see. I'm not ready yet. Okay. Here's one that I think this line's going to be wrong. It's only 19 now. Just as I was about to come on the air, the screen lit up, and they were taking Purdue here in this one. I thought I was going to come in here and kind of be all cute and tell you how much I like to, Purdue in this game. And I think I'm still going to do it. I think I'm still going to take Purdue plus these points. I'm feeling pretty contrarian, but I think Purdue is going to be able to have enough experience here to limit Ohio State. Not in any, I'm pretty sure it'll come pretty close to the spread. But I think that Purdue getting 19 is good. I think it's going to be enough. I think they can, So I'd be okay until about 17 points with recommending it here on the show. I think it was going to be a premium. I'm not sure. It's still tough, to tell. That's one thing. If you're right, that's one thing. And anybody who's subscribed to my picks, right? Sometimes I write up these games, and I'm not just saying it. I mean, anybody can say anything they want on the YouTube shows. I think we've got some subscribers in here. Maybe they can attest to this. Sometimes I write up the game and I say kind of like, this game's going to have some defense. Nobody's expecting, and then it'll end up right around and I say the score, and it's going to, and boom, we get it. And here, I'm kind of going to, I don't know if it's necessarily a thread the needle spot, but I think the fact that the game will kind of be lower, I think it's going to be under 51. I don't know if I'm ready to give that out just yet, and I'm not even sure that it is a play on the total, that I would give out. I mean, I don't know, could go down and I end up on the over, don't know. But I think because the game could end up in the high 40s, I think that's just going to favor taking 19 points. Yeah, was it 21? It was. It opened 20 and a half. It touched 21. It's gone. I did, like I said, I thought one book had it kind of lower than this, but I'm just going off the line screen. It wasn't part of our opening line coverage. So, like I said, I'd be comfortable probably all the way down to 17. Ray's going to be on Purdue here. I'm on Purdue. This is the play in this game. And yeah, it's one of those where you're not going to have as many, positive talking points here, but just the Boilers' effort, I would think. Their pass defense is okay given the situation. Yes, feels like a dead spot to a certain extent for Ohio State. So I'm just going to take the points here. It's going to be a free pick. I just was concerned that the line had already moved down to 19 and a half, not much less 19, and I had already been leaning to Purdue. So as I was searching out the games and I kind of wanted to cover early and get my pick out there early on it, I was like, wow, this one's really moving towards Purdue. Are the Sharps really, Purdue's 2 and, I think, let me check here, 2-4 against the number so far. Ohio State's 2-1. Now, Ohio State is 1-4 to the under. Purdue 3-3 with the total. And we know Ohio State, they're allowing just 10 points per game. They're averaging 35. That's 45 points. And, well, I mean, we know that the Bucks, you know, handled Maryland. They got the money. They got that push against Notre Dame. Thomas Lewis says he's got Ohio State all day. So looks like it's Thomas and I. That'll be the bet. It feels like to me. Yeah, that's one thing, Tom, right? So I can interpret the misreading on the autocorrect, but I'm not going to show it on screen. Thomas wouldn't want me to. He wouldn't want me to embarrass it. Money's on Ohio State, but if he fixes it, I've got to show it on screen. So Thomas knows how I do it. He didn't need to fix it, but he did because he wants to be on record right there with his pick on the screen. And you can too. Just comment on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. I don't get the comments there, but thanks, Thomas. Last year, Ohio State won at home by 28 points. They were favored by 19 in that one. And Boilers won the last time they played in West Lafayette, but that was 5 years ago. But Purdue did beat Ohio State as a 12.5-point dog 5 years ago. That was the last time they met. That was actually other than last year, it was the only time they had met. They did not meet in 2019 in the pandemic season. I want to say, so let me get that straight. In 2021, it was 59-31 Ohio State. They did not meet. They did not meet last year. So I'm on Purdue. I'm going to trust kind of the defense. I'm going to trust the fact that Purdue does pretty well in limiting pass completions a little bit. So, hey, Dave is here. He says Ohio State is not as good this season. I don't know, Dave. They're ranked third in the country. Not teasing you on that. Maybe you think that they're overrated, it sounds like. So, and maybe I do too, quite frankly. Maybe that they're are they really, right? Are they really a final playoff team? A Final Four team? Yeah. I mean, the path says that they're in, but one slip up is all it's going to take. I don't think it'll be this one, but let's take Purdue plus the points. All right. All right, I got a good one here. I think I have a very strong play in this one. So let's talk about it. This one is on the early schedule, actually, moved to noon Eastern and 9 a.m. Pacific. How about that? With Alabama and Arkansas. And look at this total. This total continues to fall. Now, the spread is at 19.5. When we were on that Circa show, that opening line show. I shouldn't say that. I think that probably is a coined phrase or something. But nonetheless, Alabama did not open anywhere near this number. They opened 18.5. They opened 18. They went down to 17.5. But since then, there's definitely been a little bit of push here on the Crimson Tide. I saw them actually go to as high as minus 20 when there was finally a little bit of take back here with the Hogs. And I think we can conclude that Alabama definitely had some improvement on offense, and maybe got it together a little bit, considering what we had seen so far, and all that. Now, are they totally fixed in getting everything all together? I don't know if they are, but I think against Arkansas, certainly. Look, Alabama's averaging 31 points a game, and Arkansas is averaging 31 points per game. Arkansas allows 25 points per game. Both teams have gone over in 4 of their 6 games thus far. So I don't know how low this total is going to go. I kind of wanted to wait, but I was also interested in bragging about how this is a premium play, and I'm giving it to you now. There'll be plenty of plays this week that I'll have on my card. And I'm sorry if subscribers are like, don't do that. We pay for, and I don't know, maybe this one isn't the best. I feel like it's a solid play. I like the fact, maybe if I were to have express any concern, is the fact that the total is moving lower. But I don't feel like that's going to be the case at all. In fact, I think it's going to be I think the game's going to get into the 50s the way things are going right now. Look, Alabama, they scored 26 points at Texas A&M. I think that was pretty impressive. They got the win. They got the cover. Alabama's covered 3 straight games all of a sudden in pretty nice fashion, right? They clobbered Mississippi State pretty well, scored 40 points. They got the money against Ole Miss when everybody was saying, oh, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong? So they won 5 of their 6. Okay, the Texas game, I get it. But looking at yesterday's, Saturday's Texas game, that was high level. That was pretty high level, right? Hats off to Oklahoma. Texas did a good job, but, they got knocked down. That doesn't necessarily hurt Alabama. I thought that was a pretty high-level game. So I've got this one going over. Arkansas can score here against Alabama at even on the road. Look, will they get the money? I don't know. Maybe I actually prefer Alabama to give, but I also think it might be just a little bit too high. I just wish it was down. I thought when it was going to 17, I was getting ready to look at Alabama here. But Arkansas got the money this past weekend against Ole Miss. They were getting 13. They only lost by 7. They played A&M. Remember that one was at Jerry's World, and they lost that game by 12 points as a 6.5-point dog. They also lost to LSU 34-31, but they were 17.5-point underdogs at LSU. Now, Bama certainly still ranks better than LSU, but not by a ton, right? LSU's okay. They're good. So I've got the over in this one. Alabama's coming back a little bit. You watch out for Bama. Dave says he'll lay the Bama with the point. He'll lay the points with Alabama. It sounds like here, and I might too. I think I prefer Bama, but I like it as an over. Probably Bama by 20, and that's barely gonna cover. So I guess I got to go a little higher. All right, Bama by 3 touchdowns. I'll agree with Dave here, but I'm not. Let Dave, you give it out. I'm not giving it out yet. I have concerns. My play's on the over. I like the over. It's only gone down so far. Will it continue to go down? I don't know. But I guess you could wait. And one move to 48, that might be or if you see it trickle higher at all, that might be the time. And Ray's going to agree with me, it looks like. Thank you, Ray. All right. Last year was Alabama 49, Arkansas 26 in Fayetteville. So 75 points in that one. And 2 years ago, they played to 77 points. So even I could figure that out. They averaged 76 points combined in the last 2 seasons when they met each other. And the winner of this game has been over at least 42 points in at least 5 straight matchups. Five straight years, basically. The winning team has scored 42 points. The total's 47.5. Okay, maybe this will be the year it all turns around defensively. Doesn't feel like these programs are. I mean, yes, Alabama is down, but they're still doing it Alabama way. So I'm on the over. Come on, this is a premium over Arkansas and Alabama. All right, the rivalry that is the Temple Owls and North Texas. You think of all the great matchups through the years when the team from Philadelphia has played North Texas. All the great finishes, a highlight reel. I mean, you could look in YouTube and get lost. No, no, these teams have never played each other before. There's no reason to be playing this game. You want to talk about climate change? Why is Temple playing North Texas in a conference game? I even think it might be a better idea for some of these, when you have the payday games. At least they can pay for their plane rides and stuff like that. All right. Well, this is what happens in this conference, so I'm not going to get too crazy on these teams and talk funny about them. But here we are, North Texas at home against Temple. It opened 7. I think it went up to as high as 8.5. Now it's all the way back down to 7. And I'm going to update. Well, no, I'm going to grade myself at 7.5 because I'm going to give out North Texas to win this game, and I'm thinking they're going to win it by double digits. That'll be my play here in this one. I don't know if you guys have any comment yet on this one early in the week like this. Reason why I'm kind of giving it out now is I like it pretty strong. I know that I'm saying, hey, let me give out maybe the marquee matchups, or kind of skipped over some of these games a little bit last week, but let me just early in the week. I don't know. I was kind of worried the spread was maybe moving against me too, and obviously it's not at this point. So, anyways, Temple 1-5 against the spread so far here, and they're coming to North Texas. I mean, can there really be much interest for a team like Temple? They lost at Tulsa by 22 points. They lost at Rutgers by 20. At least that was in the neighborhood, right? But again, they came down here. They already played one of these trips. They came and played Tulsa and lost by 22 points. North Texas is won at Louisiana Tech. They covered against Navy. So I would think that they can win this one here and win this one by double digits. They beat Abilene Christian. They didn't cover the spread, but Abilene Christian is actually, a bit of a decent team, I would think. The Temple, North Texas was favored in that game by 16 points, so they almost did cover. They did fail against Florida International. They were upset in that one. They went in there as big favorites, remember, but now it looks like Florida International is okay for the level anyway. In that one, they were getting all the points and they upset them. And of course, Cal rocked North Texas at the beginning of the season, but North Texas has looked better. They've looked decent here, and you got to think when I look at their offense for North Texas, their passing, they average 13 yards per completion. They also rush for more than 100 yards per game, more than Temple. And defensively, they limit teams to 59%, which is okay, but Temple gives up 65% completion percentage. And I would think that North Texas here, let's see, Temple's allowing what? 34 a game. North Texas is allowing 39, but remember, some of that is skewed. So some of that was skewed by some of the numbers that they gave up to Cal and Florida International. Since then, they've kind of reeled it in a little bit. So, all right, I'm going to take North Texas here to cover the spread in this one. Strong play here. Dave says go. He's got Temple here in this one. Ray says North Texas. All right, let's see. I think I got one or two. I think I've got one or two more. Oh, one more? All right. Let's see. And it's another one where I just have a strong opinion on it, and that's why I'm coming in with it right now. In fact, let me see here, because I thought maybe I had the steam wrong in this game. I'm never wrong about the steam. I live off the steam. But I thought I saw a move come in right before the show. Let me take a look here and take a look at the line movement. No. It's oops. Bear with me here. Oh, okay. This one I see. This one's a little bit later in the morning. Okay, thanks. Here we go. This one, yeah, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific in this one, and I've got Ball State here plus the points at home. I thought it moved. That's why I was a little bit curious. Sorry, everybody. Thank you. 17 is the number now. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Okay. I finally figured out what I'm doing. So Toledo took steam right before the show. You can grade, you know what? I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to leave it at 15 and a half. You can grade me at 15 and a half. The line's 17. There's no doubt about it. But I was ready to come on the show and tell you that I liked Ball State plus 15 and a half here against Temple. So I'm not sure maybe what the Sharps are thinking here necessarily in this one, because I was looking at Ball State all the way here. This one opened at circa on Saturday at minus 14. It definitely was immediately bumped up. I think you could hear my reaction actually on that show, and I was ready to kind of get on Ball State here. Now, I feel a little bit hesitant because of that. I have not investigated necessarily this team. Maybe there is some injury or something. I wasn't expecting anything, so maybe it feels just like some regular, taking advantage of a price, 15 and a half here. Maybe they wanted that number, whatever the case may be. But I'm preferring to get in here at 17 against a Toledo team that's failed to cover in 4 straight games. I love teams like this where they win all their games, but they never cover the spread. They're 5-1 overall, are Toledo. Now they're coming on the road here against a Ball State team that has been terrible. But Toledo never covers the spread. 4 straight games. Against Massachusetts, they were favored by 19. They won by 17. Against Northern Illinois, they were favored by 14. They won by 2. Against Western Michigan, they were favored by 21.5. They won by 18. Against San Jose, they were favored by 8.5. They won by 4. They can't cover spreads. They're on the road. If they were at home, maybe I'd give them a chance. I mean, they're playing well. Ball State's not very good. I can't sit here and give you a lot of argument on Ball State as far as what they're doing even in conference right now. It's mostly the fact that Toledo can't cover spreads. Ball State's not covered any spreads either, especially in conference so far. They lost to Eastern Michigan by 2 touchdowns. They lost to Western Michigan by 18 points, and they got rocked by Georgia Southern. They did beat Indiana State 45-7, and they got the money in that game. So the only game they won, they got the money. These are kind of the things that I look for when taking a team that isn't covering any spreads. So it's not a total premium for me, especially if I feel like the steam came in today on Toledo. And kind of worries me a little bit. But teams met last year. Toledo won as a 14-point favorite. You know what they won by? They won by 7. And they were at home in that one. So that, to me, puts me on Ball State. Don't look at Ball State's numbers if you want to. Toledo's 5-1 to the over. Also, just want to mention that as well. But Toledo's got terrific offense. Ball State's got nothing going for it, really, comparatively to Toledo. The one thing that Ball does pretty well, or as well as they can do, is stop the run a little bit. They can slow you down on the run a little bit. That's probably the strength of their team. So Thomas says he does not think Toledo is all that. It sounds like this year Toledo's not that good this year. That maybe this has been kind of I don't want to say it's I'm not going to call it fluky at all. But yeah, when I see teams that are winning but not covering spreads, that's when I continue to like, because people are going to see it. They're going to see the 5-0 they're going to see the 5-1 against the 1-5. Looks like a mismatch here, and does. 17 points. And, Toledo should win this. They should win it. And are they going to cover? History would say no. They'll win and not cover. So it does concern that Ball State not covering either. You'd like to see some covers on the back end here. They are 1-4-1. Oh, they had a push, huh? Let me see what that push was again. Well, that was against Georgia, but they were getting 42 points there. They didn't even get a touchdown. And they got rocked by Kentucky, too. So, anyways, I'm on Ball State here, and it's a my play here on the show. All right, that's it for me. 6 games preview. It's been an hour and 45 with you. Thank you so much, everybody, for stopping by. Oh, let me see here. I think maybe I did have something for you folks here. I don't think I have a preview. Oh, I did. I don't know why I did NBA preseason. Is anybody interested in a little NBA preseason today? We did the CFL game, right? Okay. Maybe I can just read some NBA preseason games off real quick, just because we don't have a lot of sports today. All the games are at night, but I think I did. Let me see. I don't want to give out any. I'm not going to give out any premiums in these, and there's been some pretty big moves already, so maybe I can toss a few plays out here. Yes, well, this one here, okay, here's the Celtics and the Knicks. It's already up to Knicks -7. Let's even call it 7.5 here. And I think the Knicks are I think the Boston, word on the street, Boston's not too interested in this one. It opened as low as 2.5. It's now 7.5. I'd probably say take the Knicks here and just lay the big points. I'm not going to update the graphics. Not going to update the graphics, I don't think, on these two. So probably nothing on the total here yet. It did open much lower than this, but you see some big adjustments quickly, and I have nothing there. But Knicks, I'll take the Knicks. You're going to have to lay 7 or 7.5 here right now. And Celtics were not expected to have their full effort here tonight. Spurs are going to be taking on the Thunder here in this one. And I've got an under here in this game. Let me see what it is currently. It is now down to 224. So Oklahoma City's 5. It's down to 224. That's for a reason. Go under in this game. That's an official Morning Steam preseason basketball play. I mean, right? We're not going to get too crazy. We got all these playoff games. We got Monday Night Football. If you're at the book or the game's on in your area, we could throw down, a 20 spot or something on this game on a preseason basketball game. $100 maybe if you're a high roller like me. So I don't know. Take the under here in this one, in this matchup, and actually also I like San Antonio +5. A double play here. All right, go 50-50. $50 on one, 50 on the other. I like San Antonio +5 and the under. I actually did look at these games. These are well thought out games for NBA preseason anyway. Just because I was reading, basketball material last night. Thomas, that's high. We're going big on these NBA preseason games. Going bankroll builder here. Daryl's ready. He's going to give us the play in the Celtics game. Thank you, Daryl. I didn't necessarily know what I was doing with the total. Thank you, Ray. All right, and Daryl says, what about the last game, too? Don't forget. Daryl says, let's get it here. Daryl says he likes the Lakers. Let's look at the spread. It'll probably be different than what it was when I did the graphic. It was Lakers 5 and 223. Now it's 4.5 and 2. This one didn't move too much. 4.5 and 223. And I'm on the Lakers as well. I'm on the Lakers, and I'm on the over this probably feels official. Let's just go with it. It's preseason. I'm just making plays out here on preseason games. These are where I'm having. This is where you can have a little fun. I remember the guy, came into the Discord, said, "Hey, these plays have no accountability. Preseason basketball plays. Good luck with them." But I took it seriously. I'm not just. This is my handicap on these games. Take the Lakers. Take the over. Official. Morning Steam plays. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Dave. Nice to see you. And everybody else as well. Come join me tomorrow. We're going to have NHL regular season getting underway. We're going to be talking NHL hockey with a big card tomorrow on the ice. We've got 3 games. Nashville at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is $1.65, 6.5 under 20. Chicago and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh 225, 6.5 over 25. Seattle at VGK. Did you see the Golden Knights ring with the pendant that comes out? You can do whatever you want with the pendant. And they'll be minus $1.76 over 20. So hopefully that gets your blood going for some NHL tomorrow. Maybe that'll get you excited for some NHL tomorrow. All right. That's good. Daryl's ready. Daryl, we got a whole day to wait. I know you're excited. Thanks, bud. All right. We'll catch you tomorrow with more Morning Steam. Head on over to our website, Tony'sPicks.com. Get my premium picks for today, including Major League Baseball playoffs and Monday Night Football. Check us out over at Tony'sPicks.com. Click on the All Cappers tab. Find the handicapper of your choice. Click on the handicapper profile page and get signed up. All right, that's it for the Morning Steam. I'm Ramon Scott. Thank you for joining me.